Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com.
You want answers.
I want the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
This is Halftime.
Man, that ball got out of here in a hurry.
With Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Phil, you're one of the best baseball announcers in the country, and Ty, you're one of the best up-and-coming young talents in the broadcasting industry. You really do your homework.
See ya, D-Mac. Hold on, Matt Ryan. D-Mac not looking back. Touchdown.
How about that Heisman, Mark Jones?
How do you like
it? Wide open again.
All right, hold on. It's almost halftime.
So did a little research, and I think I'm correct on this. You always have to take what I say with a grain of salt, me being a millennial dog. But I went back through all of Arkansas's series over the years and their year-by-year basis. And correct me if I'm wrong. And feel free to text in, call in on the Cherokee Casino hotline, 877-377-6963. But I believe that Arkansas has not had back-to-back-to-back losing seasons since 1941 through 1943. And I think Fred Thomason was the head coach. I don't know if anyone is alive listening to the program right now that could know about that or actually got a chance to watch that play because, again, that was so long ago. But that shows you how long it's been since this program has been this under the weather. And again, you can't use the word mediocre with this football program right now. Mediocres, I would think, in between the range of 5-7, 6-6, 7-5. But more accurate words, more words that you can define the program is right now is abysmal, trash. I mean, you can keep going. I'm not going to because it's just going to keep it at that. But that's where you're at right now. And so now you're really going to find out who wants to stick with Chad Morris, who wants to be a Razorback. These kids came here to start over. They came here to resurrect the Razorback program. And they haven't. That's not to say that it can't happen. I think a lot of you out there listening to the program right now don't think it can. But these kids, the 22nd, 23rd highest rated recruiting class in 2019, they didn't come here to finish the season 2-10 or 3-9. They came here to start something and turn the program around. And it hasn't been to that point. It hasn't happened to this point. Now, again, this is not going to be an easy fix. We've stressed that over and over and over again. But they should be farther along than they are right now. This is Halftime on ESPN at Arkansas. HitThatLine.com. Matty T, Matt Travis over there producing, run the boards. I'm Ty Richardson. Phil Elson will be back with us on Thursday. Really looking forward to have him back this week, especially since him and I haven't really had a long discussion on the Kentucky game. But by the time he gets back, we'll get to Auburn. Couple big notes yesterday that came out of yesterday has to do with players leaving the program. And so far, for two different reasons, players have left the program. Devin Bush is transferring, the four-star Louisiana cornerback who was an early enrollee for the Hogs in the 2019 class, the highest-rated defensive player in the 2019 class. He was either third or fourth most talented that they brought in. He tweeted out yesterday that he will be entering the transfer portal. He thanked Chad Morris. He thanked the Arkansas coaching staff. But he will be entering the transfer portal. So you're losing him. He hasn't played a lot this season. 10 defensive plays so far, 2 against Ole Miss, 8 against San Jose State. So, again, this goes back to what we'll get to next segment. Chad Morris talking to the media about he doesn't necessarily want to bruise the confidence of these young players, whether it's KJ Jefferson, whether it's some of these young secondary guys, including Jalen Catalon and some others. He's scared because he doesn't want them to get in the game, get flustered, underperform, get beat, and then destroy their confidence the rest of the way. So he's bringing them on slowly, like every other coach in college football. That's not out of the norm for coaches to bring their guys along slowly. That's It's pretty universal in the college football world. But he is, as of this moment, as of yesterday, going to be entering the transfer portal. Now, again, that doesn't mean he can't come back. You've had a couple players, football-wise, that have been reconvinced to join certain programs. It doesn't happen often. Far more often, you have players say, I'm entering the transfer portal, and they go along with their original thought and enter the transfer portal. But he's not 100% lost. But I think if you ask most recruiting guys or most people who follow the program closely, he's gone. The other one is Devon McClure. He is leaving the program as well. Chad Morris touched on that, and hey, Matty T, it's the one right there on the E. He touched on that yesterday. Yeah, that one right there. And it wasn't so. The original report that Danny West put out, and I think Nikki put it out as well, is that he was going to enter the transfer portal. But what Chad Morris told us yesterday is something a little different. We'll get back to that audio in a sec. So you have that, and now you only have 7 scholarship linebackers throughout the season, or in the season. You have 7 now, and that's it. So you're a little worrisome about the depth of the linebacker core. You have Grant Morgan, you have John Harris, you have Hayden Henry, you have some other guys. But if you look at the back end of it, Dion Edwards, Andrew Parker, Zach Zemos, Nicky Hutch put this out. They have a combined 13 snaps between them. And you could argue that the linebacker position is the most important one on the football field. And you're lacking it there.
Do you want to get this clip now?
Yeah. We'll touch on it. We'll touch on it next segment. No big deal. So you should be a little worried about that position because, again, for however many years, and I know people that cover the program can touch on that, who have covered it longer than I am. Again, I'm 24 years old, so I can't speak to it as much. But you look at the linebacker position over the years, Arkansas never seems to have any depth there. It's a position where, yes, you've had some dudes. You've had a Martrell Spate. You've had a Sam Olajibutu and some other guys. But it's not necessarily been a position for quality depth. And because of the nature of the position, the brutality of it, and that just applies to most college football positions in general, it's hard to keep quality depth. And there's not just a ton of – it's very hard to play the position. So it's not like there's just a plethora of linebackers, particularly in Arkansas or outside the state, that want to come play at Arkansas. So it's a hard position to recruit to. But I think with this happening, this is kind of the first wave of guys leaving the program. And there's going to be more. I think that most of us are aware that this is not going to be the final wave of players that leave Arkansas. You're sitting here wondering to yourself, who still wants to be a Razorback? Who still wants to stand by Chad Morris and these Hogs? Who wants to stand by these teammates? And that's a question that's going to be told in the next couple weeks, next couple months. Who wants to continue? And in order for them to keep their guys or lose less of them, they have to finish stronger than they've started the season. You can't finish the season defeated in every single conference game. You've got to beat Western Kentucky, and you've got to find a way somehow, whether it's Mississippi State, whether it's Missouri, to win a conference game. Now, I know there's Burks who wanted to be Hog, and there's some other Arkansas guys that grew up and wanted to be Razorbacks. But now, how many of these guys are truly going to stand by their commitment to Chad Morris? Most of these guys that came in, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, most of these guys that came in are committed to Chad Morris. Not necessarily the Arkansas football program, but Chad Morris. And that typically happens in college sports. They're not necessarily, unless they're born and bred Arkansas fans, LSU fans, pick a school. They're going to have the strongest relationship, not with the school itself, but their head coach or position coach. So how many of these guys are going to step, Traylor, Morris, Cooper, Harris, all of them? How many are going to stand by that, especially in these troubling times? And by troubling, I'm talking that you've won 2 games all season. All right, great camping weather is happening right now. It's starting to feel a little cooler here in the River Valley. And if you're thinking about going camping, why not think about Breeden RV and Power Sports? At Breeden RV in Van Buren, they're having their end-of-the-year clearance sale right now. Great deals on new RVs, travel trailers, and so much more. Fifth wheels under $30,000. Breeden RV is the only dealer that gives new customers maintenance for life for free. I mean, go over that again. Maintenance for life for free. They also have a great selection of pre-camp trailers and RVs to choose from. So if you're thinking camping, you have to think Breeden RV. Really appreciate Ransom and the guys over there being awesome sponsors of Halftime. So again, if you're thinking about camping, think Breeden RV. Who wants to be a Hawk? Who still wants to be a fan? Let's talk about it next. That's on Halftime coming up.
Hold on tight.
Missed a segment or interview? Check out the Halftime Pod at hitthatline.com. This is the Morning Rush.
I don't get that.
That tells me
you don't have the KI, man. You don't have the killer instinct.
Exactly. You are worried more about what the other team's going to do instead of what you should do.
Exactly.
And you can't do that. You can't be a football coach of a successful football team doing that.
That tells me you have no confidence at all.
That's not a winning formula.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3.
This is Mark Hurst. At Hurst Family Dental Care, October is our anniversary month, and to say thank you for 2 amazing years, we want to give something back to you. If you're a new patient to our office and call during October to schedule a cleaning appointment and mention this ad, we will include a comprehensive exam at no additional cost. If you're one of our existing patients and call during October, we will give you a $100 credit toward any planned treatment. Give us a call at 474-1972 and mention this ad and let us show our appreciation to you. Hurst Family Dental Care, a name you know and a name you can trust.
Supercuts of Arkansas is raising breast cancer awareness and donating to Bright Pink. Bright Pink is the only nonprofit organization that focuses on prevention and early detection of breast and ovarian cancer. Join the fight, breast cancer awareness. Donating to Bright Pink, the only nonprofit organization. Supercuts help them reach their goal of $10,000. Supercuts is conveniently located and serving its community 7 days a week. Supercuts, they're super into the movement. Supercuts, fresh, clean, sharp.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
True Grit Running Company is where perseverance meets passion. Whether you're training for your next marathon or just comfortable shoes to keep up with your kids, we have the gear to help you reach your goals. With our slow motion gait analysis and our extensive product knowledge, we have the right pair of shoes for you. We also carry apparel, nutrition, hydration accessories, injury prevention gear, and recovery products. We offer classes, workshops, and group runs. Lace up, show up, and get your grit on. True Grit Running Company, 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
It's football season and the right play is at Hertz Car Sales, 2810 Midland Boulevard. Their business is quality used cars at a great price with their #1 goal of passing the savings on to you. The latest makes and models, low mileage vehicles with an overall experience that can't be matched. Make the short drive to 2810 Midland Boulevard today and find that there's no better way to buy your next vehicle. Call them today at 783-1722 or check them out online at buyfromhertz.com. Hertz Car Sales, what are you waiting for?
Right now, you can save up to $5,000 off on select in-ground pools at Burton Pools and Spas. Hi, Tommy Kraft here. Now is the perfect time to start planning your own backyard oasis for next summer so you can relax and enjoy the lazy days poolside next year with family and friends. It's the perfect way to unwind after work or do a staycation. And don't make that long trip this next summer. Vacation in your own backyard. Burton Pools and Spas also has luxury spas, grills, and patio furniture that will complete your outdoor living space. So don't wait. Right now is the time. Save up to $5,000 on select in-ground pools, including saltwater models. It's all at Burton Pools and Spas. This special deal is first come, first served. Stop in their store in Fort Smith and in Springdale for all the details. Fall is the perfect time to start working on your in-ground pool with Burton Pools and Spas in Fort Smith and in Springdale and online at burtonpools.com. Burton Pools and Spas, your source for backyard fun.
ESPN 95.3.
Touchdown!
Halftime is brought to you by Supercuts, who supports local teams. Supercuts. We're super into the movement.
Yeah, they got it going on.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Jones floating, throws back to the end zone, touchdown! Stephen Harris, there were 2 wideouts going across the back line, and he was on that edge right in the corner, and he pulls it down.
Back on Halftime, ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com. Nikki Chavanel set to join us in about 15 minutes. Nikki does great stuff, great recruiting tidbits for Rivals and Hog Beats. We're going to get her takes on what's happening with Tykees Crawford and then Devon McClure and some others. And I preferenced in the last segment, we'll get to what Chad Morris had to say about Devon McClure. So originally, Danny West of Hog Hustle is going to be on tonight at 7 p.m. And then Nikki put out that he was thinking about entering the transfer portal. Well, Chad Morris cleared that up yesterday in the Monday press conference.
Well, I spoke with him last night, yesterday afternoon, and then again late last night. I think we all know his family situation with his son, and he shared with me that, Coach, I want to step away from football. I'm going to focus on my academics and focusing on getting a job to help support my family, and that was the way we left it at that time.
I don't know about y'all, but I don't have a problem with the guy setting his focus on raising his kid. Right? I mean, Matt, do you have a problem with that at all, man?
Not today, I don't.
Not today. Just Wednesday or Monday or something?
Well, no, it was he still did announce it 5 minutes after the loss, right?
No, that was Tykees Crawford.
I'm sorry. Okay, I got it.
That decommitted. So
no, I fully understand that.
So I think that would have been
more important than family.
Yeah, the Devon McClure. So I think that was announced yesterday. It was reported yesterday, and then Chad Morris cleared it up in the press conference, and I think he said he talked to him on Sunday.
So you can't blame this one on the losses, guys.
Yeah, it would have been one of those things where if McClure said immediately after the loss, "Hey, Coach, I've decided that would be a little funky," and I think he'd be a little irritated by that, but this not so much.
No, the other people probably left because of the loss.
Yeah,
this guy no.
Yeah, this guy no. So Nick Starkel did not have a stellar performance against Kentucky. It's probably his second worst performance all season, only compared to the San Jose State game. I mean, that was the only one. It's hard to beat the 5-interception game. Here's what Chad had to say about Nick, his performance on Saturday against Kentucky.
He got hit early. Quarterback, you understand those things. That has never rattled Nick. Nick's got an incredible arm, got a great talent. Was his hips not open enough? We look at all the technical things from a quarterback standpoint, but same sense, sometimes you got to sit in that pocket, and he did sit in the pocket and deliver the ball, and he'll be the first to admit he wasn't on. I've watched him in person be on many times in those same plays and hit him in stride, and so those are things he'll work through, he'll battle through, we'll help him through, he'll be just fine.
I'm genuinely curious to see what happens on Saturday, and it would not surprise me at all if Ben Hicks struggled early on against Auburn and Nick Starkel came in and didn't necessarily light the world on fire, but came in and played better than Hicks. Because to this point, that's what you've seen this season, right? The guy that's come off the bench has played better than the original starter. How much of that is the looking back syndrome? I don't know if that's the right word, but how much is that the starter being scared that he's going to be supplanted by the guy on the bench? Because I think it has a lot to do with it. Whether it's Ben Hicks or Nick Starkel, the majority of the time this season, they have not performed well as the starter. But when the other guy comes in off the bench, he feels less worried. There's less pressure. The game at some point has been out of hand, it seems like. He comes in and plays well. It's weird. But that's what happens when you don't have a surefire starting quarterback. Look to Oklahoma. Look to Norman. Now, Lincoln Riley can say all he wants that was a QB competition between Spencer Rattler, Jalen Hurts, and whoever else they trotted out there on the practice fields. But everyone in that locker room, the state, the country, knew that Jalen Hurts was going to be the opening day starter in every game from that day forward unless there was an injury. You haven't had that with Ben Hicks and Nick Starkel. Now, there was debate if the passing of Starkel's friend affected him starting that first game. I know for some of you that listened to that report on SEC Nation, how much that impacted him. And I feel for him there because I've lost loved ones, and I know how much that can negatively impact you as a person, much less trying to play football, because you have to have everything locked in for that. But I'm curious to see what happens on Saturday. Does Ben Hicks get the start, struggle, and Stark will come in? I mean, that has to be the favorites if these were Vegas odds, right? I mean, it has to be. I wouldn't think that anything else outside of that, and that would have to topple everything else. Chad Morris also addressed the QB situation outside of just Nick Starkel. Here's what he had to say about that.
Nick and Ben will get the 1 reps. And they were in here last night, and everybody was ready to get back to work last night, which was very encouraging. With those guys getting a share of the 1 reps this week, I think the whole thing is just, consistency as a team, consistency as an offense. That's really kind of what we're looking for in this. And, it is. Bob, we're trying to stay out of this, but this is just kind of where we're at right now with it.
Mark gets at us on our Facebook live stream. By the way, if you didn't know this already, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, we have our live stream up. You can see me and Maddie T's beautiful faces as well as the Morning Rush. So if you're ever out of pocket or you can't get to terrestrial radio, traditional radio, you can always listen to us that way or hit thatline.com. Mark says it's because by the time the starter gets pulled, he's messed up so bad that the next guy could only be as bad, not worse. It's a fair point, Mark. Again, you look at the games this season, there hasn't been a great starting performance. I mean, I guess you could point to Nick Starkel in Colorado State because he started that game, right? I believe he started that game. I'm like 99% sure, but it's been more the back and forth, which is kind of frustrating. John in Nashville texted in on the Cherokee Casino hotline. Again, if you want to get in that way, 877-377-6963. He says, Ty, I think you hit the nail on the head. That's why this flip-flop recipe on the QB position has failed dating back to last year. Settle on a guy and roll with him through thick and thin. So, John, I think we partially agree on this. I had no problem with him putting in Ben Hicks in the Kentucky game. I think most people listening saw that Starkel did not have his stuff in the Kentucky game. I think if you look to the Ole Miss game, Ben Hicks did not have his stuff. I think more people listening would say that he hasn't gone to the backup quick enough. If they were judging Morris, he needs to go to Hicks sooner or Starkel sooner. Now, I don't know if that's right or wrong, if you think they should go to him sooner or should give him a couple more chances, but I do agree with the back and forth. This has hurt the football team because neither guy, and it's both on Nick Starkel and Ben Hicks, neither guy has decided I'm the starting QB of this football team and I'm going to own it the rest of the year because they both had bad performances. And not just bad. Like, they haven't looked good. And I know that Nick's 5-pick game dwarfs anything that Ben Hicks has done this year, but when Ben Hicks has been the starter, it's not like he's blown the doors off of the other team. I mean, just look at the games. Look at the tape. It's frustrating. It has to be frustrating for Chad Morris and Joe Crack for them to continuously go back and forth between these two guys. And we preach to you, and I'll take some of this blame. I think other radio hosts will take some of the blame, writers, TV people. The fact that we kept telling you as fans, the quarterback situation is going to be different this year. Ty Story, Cole Kelly, they weren't meant to start in the SEC. Nick Starkel, Ben Hicks. Ben Hicks has been the offense for 3 years. Nick Starkel played in the SEC. The quarterback situation is so improved. But has it really been drastically improved? Are you that much more confident in the quarterback situation compared to last year? Now, I know they are better. I'm not going to sit here and try and lie to you and say that the combination of Ben Hicks and Nick Starkel are worse than Cole Kelly and Ty Story. But the gap should be a Grand Canyon type gap. There should be a lot more distance and a lot more people saying, man, the quarterback position is so much better than it was last year. But it hasn't been the case. Hasn't been the case at all. And so people were wondering, is KJ going to get any PT, any playing time? Is he going to get his shot? I've laid out my scenario time and time again. Mississippi State, Western Kentucky, by LSU, Missouri. Those are the 4 games I want to see him in. I think that stretch isn't awful. I think you have a bye week before you play down in Death Valley. I like that. Here's what Chad Morris had to say about not only KJ Jefferson, but Jalen Catalon and some other younger players.
When you look at the DBs, that's a position that if you could lose your confidence in a hurry. And so we got to make sure that, as I've challenged our staff, to make sure these guys are prepared, that they're ready to get on the field, and when they do get on the field, they completely understand exactly what we're asking them to do. Because the worst thing we want to do is put a young guy out there and all of a sudden we lose him for because of lack of confidence and don't have confidence in him. So we got to continue to bring those guys along, and that's our job. KJ, extremely talented, has done a great job working on the scout team. He's always in our position meetings, working hard. We'll keep bringing him along and see where we're at with him. And, obviously we'd love the opportunity to be able to redshirt him if we could. We'll keep bringing him along.
I've seen some people with the take that just throw John Stephen Jones in these next 2 games and then allow KJ to play the next 4. And my question is, are you trying to win? I truly believe, and I think most people would believe this, that Chad Morris and Joe Craddock's football knowledge is higher and it's more complex than any of ours talking or listening to the program right now. That doesn't mean they can't make mistakes. That doesn't mean that something that someone says may be right compared to what they think. But when you line it up, they know more than us. And so that's why KJ and John Stephen Jones are not starting. And you can say, well, they didn't know the Ty Storr Cole Kelly dynamic last year. They might have messed up the Nick Starkel Ben Hicks. But that hindsight's always 20/20 when it comes to that stuff. All right, we got Nikki Chavanel, Rivals.com, joining us next. We got some bad recruiting news. I don't know about a lot of good one, except on the basketball front. We'll talk with her next. ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com.
Missed a segment or interview? Check out the Halftime Pod at hitthatline.com.
Barley is the soul of Budweiser. That's why we've been working with the same family-owned American farms for more than 50 years to harvest it. The secrets to growing this grain perfectly have been passed down through 3 generations. For them, it's a legacy. And it's why only the best barley and locally sourced ingredients are used to make Budweiser. Budweiser is proudly raised across America. This Bud's from our barley farmers. This Bud's for you. Enjoy responsibly. Budweiser Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Miss Anna's on Towson is quickly becoming one of Fort Smith's favorite haunts. We're now serving breakfast from 6 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. 7 days a week. Blue Plate specials served Monday through Friday. And don't forget about 99-cent Pie Tuesday. So whether you're craving some of our great kickin' chicken or one of our world-famous desserts, Miss Anna's is the place to be. 5001 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith, 649-6300. That's 649-6300.
Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair is your one-stop shop for all repairs. Paintless Dent Repair, door dings, unsightly dents, and hail damage repair, all repaired to like new conditions. With over 1 million repaired vehicles with satisfied customers, Michael Littleton is the expert in paintless repair. Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair, conveniently located 3 miles from the Arcoma exit off Highway 112. Or call 479-461-9764. Your #1 Arkansas fan.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging, the Xerox authorized agency and dealer in the River Valley. The 29 new models of Xerox business printers and copiers represent a quantum leap forward in office technology. They are designed for the way we work today, safely and securely. They're powered by Xerox Connect Key technology. They're innovative and affordable with both black and white and color devices available. For more information, give Dixie Digital a call at 783-6600 or visit us at dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing Xerox document innovations to the River Valley.
It's Oklahoma's longest-running balloon festival, Friday and Saturday, October 18th and 19th, with monster truck rides, helicopter rides, kites, tethered balloon rides, night glows, and so much more. The Poto Balloon Fest. The Poto Balloon Fest. New this year, Cirque Adventures, Firefighters Brigade Challenge, and much more. Returning, Midgets with Attitude and the Big Fox Run UTVs. Poto Balloon Fest, Friday and Saturday, October 18th and 19th.
Your fence is more than a decoration. It's a reflection of its owner. Choosing a fence company should be done with integrity and quality in mind. The Fence Man has been providing fencing and security solutions for over 40 years. An in-house custom iron and gate department, plus an access control department. The Fence Man offers services other companies aren't equipped to do. The Fence Man, fencing and security solutions to protect what matters most. 479-782-3936 or online at thefencemancompany.com, a division of Quantum Property Services.
ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Whaley. Wow. Walks into the end zone. And I mean walks into the end zone. Touchdown, Razorbacks.
Every Tuesday, we are joined by Nikki Chavanel, Rivals.com Hogbeat as well. You can follow all her recruiting, her takes, and everything there. Nikki, as always, we appreciate you having you on. There really hasn't been a lot of good news coming from the football circuit as of late, has there?
Hey, Nikki.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we're good now. Sorry. So as far as the football news that you've had to deal with and put out lately, there really hasn't been a lot of positive news that you've gotten to put out lately, has there been?
No. And, this morning I tried to write something a little bit more positive, and it just didn't feel right. So I kind of stopped writing it. It's not as bad as everyone's making it sound. I think people are honestly making it worse on social media, acting like Treylon Burks and Trey Knox and KJ are all going to transfer, and everyone's just spreading all these rumors. And it's not quite that bad, but there's clearly a lot of issues, and I think it stems from the offense just not being able to score as much as they need to.
So, Nikki, who's in town recruiting-wise this weekend for football?
So you have the Big Three from Whitehaven High School in Memphis, Tennessee. It's a 3 4-star linebackers. You've got the commit Martavius French, Bryson Eason, and Tamarion McDonald, who is committed to Mississippi State. But it's looking like he's pretty certainly going to flip to either Tennessee or Arkansas down the road. And all three of those guys, it seems like they want to wait until the end of the season to see how both Arkansas and Tennessee finish up, and then they'll make a final decision. So even though French is committed, he's definitely not 100%. And then they've got Darren Turner, who is at Central High School, also in Memphis. He's 3-star wide receiver / safety commit. He's pretty solid from everything I've heard. Haven't heard anything to worry about there so far. But, as other coaches look at the program, they might start trying to poach some targets, but you've also got Dwight McGlothern, who's a 4-star Rivals 250 athlete. He's a cornerback, and Mark Smith, the corners coach, has been working on him for months and months trying to get him up here. And even though he couldn't come on in any unofficial visits, he's coming on his official visit. It's paid by the university, and it's a 48-hour trip. So he was at LSU last weekend, and he likes Oregon as well. So that's going to be a tough one. But Arkansas is working very hard and making sure that he knows that he's a top priority. Arkansas doesn't have any secondary commits unless you count Darren Turner, who could potentially play safety if they needed him to. And then Nick Turner, who is a Georgia Tech safety commit, who I hear really wants to play in the SEC. So I don't think even getting beat by Auburn this weekend would deter him from maybe flipping this weekend. So he's one to watch out for, and he's from Louisiana.
So you mentioned the guy that's just got off his official from LSU. For those who have been living under a rock, I don't know how you did not see the atmosphere that was on display between LSU and Florida on Saturday night. There is nothing that compares to Saturday night in Death Valley. I don't care what anyone says. And for a guy to come in off that and to come into an 11 o'clock Auburn game that Nikki is not going to have more than 50,000 people, how do the Arkansas coaches compete with that?
Well, obviously you look at LSU's depth chart and you see that they have a lot of talented players, and while some kids might want to go in there and compete and have a chance to start or play some second-string reps. A lot of kids would rather make their own name elsewhere, and that's where Arkansas comes in with a chance to play. And I know a lot of people think that the coaches promised the 2019 class early playing time, but it's never a real promise. You still have to come in and earn it. And as we saw yesterday with 2 transfer notices, you still have to prove that you are willing to put in the work. And just because you've been here for, 7-8 months, it's not necessarily enough.
Nikki, let's talk about this transfer, starting with Devin Bush. Why do you think he's transferring?
Well, week after week we hear the coaches saying that they're going to try to get these younger guys in just to see what they can do and get them some experience. And then week after week we see them sticking, especially on the defensive side, with the starters. And it must be tough. I mean, Devin Bush came from a very good program at Nacar High School. He was a star, and he was always kind of back and forth about coming to Arkansas. He waited to the last minute to sign his NLI in the early signing period, and then he was up in the air about coming to campus early, and then he ended up doing that because the coaches convinced him, you really need this for your development. It'll help you play earlier, and then he did that, and it still didn't help him play earlier. So I think it was just a little frustration on his part. I imagine he'll go play D2 or JUCO and then go play, back at the D1 level. I don't think he's going to want to sit out a year somewhere else.
We're speaking with Nikki Chavanel on the Cherokee Casino Hotline. If you have any questions for Nikki, text in 877-377-6963. So, Nikki, we spoke about the recruits that were coming in for football. Basketball-wise, I know Moses Moody is coming in. People are all over that. Who else is coming in for Eric Musselman this weekend?
Yeah, so you mentioned Moses Moody. Obviously, he's a top 50 small forward target, and I think he's already in some 2021 NBA draft projections, so that's big time. Arkansas will be competing with the likes of Ohio State and Michigan for his talent. Our rivals analysts think the biggest competition is Michigan, and he came off an official visit there 2 weeks ago. And then KK Robinson, who now plays at Oak Hill, which is, a very big national basketball program. They bring in a lot of recruits from all over the nation. And he has come off visits from TCU and Kansas. So those two are both in play. But I think the staff feels very confident that as long as they can show the guys that they can develop them and get them to the next level like they've done with their players in the past at different spots, then they can basically compete with anyone for these guys.
So let's flip back to football. I know there's not a lot of positives coming out, but one thing that people continuously ask, I know on your message boards, I know they call in, text us, is when's KJ Jefferson going to play? Nikki, if you had to pinpoint the first game that he participates in, which game would it be?
Well, I think Joe Craddock said it yesterday, you don't want to kill a kid's confidence by putting them in a situation that they're not ready for. So you could throw them in garbage time if they're getting blown out by Auburn or Alabama or LSU. But you could also, design a package for him in the Western Kentucky game, which is probably the more likely situation.
Yeah, I've laid out the plan several times that Mississippi State, Western, bye week, LSU, and then conclude the season in Little Rock against Missouri. I think that's the best stretch, but we'll see what happens. One more question before we let you go, Nikki. Quarterback, we'll stick there. Who starts on Saturday? And then on top of that, who do you think gets the majority of the snaps by the end of the game?
I think based on, what he's been able to do coming in relief for Nick Starkel, who was first injured and then struggling heavily to make passes, I think you start with Ben Hicks. And that's tough for me to say because I do think it's obvious that Nick Starkel is the better passer, but if your mechanics aren't on and you're just not on, then what's the point of that? You might as well have someone who can at least complete some passes, even if they're not 35 yards down the field.
Nikki Chavanel, Rivals.com, Hogbeat as well, always gives us great content Tuesdays at 12:30. Nikki, we always appreciate your time. Have a good rest of your day.
Thanks, guys.
So our halftime poll question today is, what needs to happen for the Arkansas program to turn it around? And that can be a number of different things. What needs to happen? What do you think it needs to happen as a fan base? We're going to address that on the other side of the break. We're also going to get into some SEC media rankings. Arkansas comes out as the 11th team in the SEC. That's where the SEC media ranked them preseason. We'll touch on that. Isaiah Joe named second team All-SEC. Not first, second team for Isaiah Joe, the Fort Smith Northside graduate. So we're going to touch on that and a lot more coming up. 877-377-6963 is the Cherokee Casino hotline. You can always call in, always text in. We always appreciate your calls. You're not always right when you call in or text in, but we always appreciate your feedback. And we got one guy that's holding that we'll get to on the other side of the break. Our man, Eddie in Clarksville. We'll see what he has on the other side of the break. 877-377-6963. This is halftime. Ty Richardson, Matt Travis sitting in. Phil Elson set to join us back on Thursday. This is halftime. ESPN Arkansas. HitThatLine.com.
Missed a segment or interview? Check out the Halftime Pod at HitThatLine.com.
When was the last time you looked forward to seeing the dentist? Well, if it's been a while or you haven't had the best of experience with dentistry, meet Marcy Van Ash McKinney of Family Dentistry. They take care of it all: crowns, bonding, dentures, bleaching, and cosmetic dentistry. They even offer oral consciousness sedation available for your comfort. That's Marcy Van Ash McKinney Family Dentistry at 807 South 21st. Call for an appointment today, 494-7600. That's 494-7600.
Archery season is underway, and black powder season is just days away. And Jelco Outdoors has all your black powder rifles and supplies to get you ready for your hunt. Brands like CVA, Traditions, and Thompson Center. Stop by Jelco Outdoors, your premier locally owned sporting goods store in the River Valley, for all your fall hunting gear. Shop local. Shop Jelco Outdoors. And remember, a great hunt begins at Jelco Outdoors.
Protection with possibilities. Have past losses made you cautious about taking on risk with your investments? Are you concerned that your savings are not generating the returns you need? If you are interested in protecting your money and capturing potential investment growth, contact Brad Lewis at United Financial Advisors at 242-7466 or ufadvisors.net to see whether market-linked CDs may be the right solution for you.
Securities and advisory service offered through Royal Alliance Associates, member FINRA, SIPC. United Financial Advisors is a marketing destination.
Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative is excited to introduce Wave Rural Connect. They're bringing state-of-the-art high-speed fiber internet plus TV and phone services right into the homes of all members. If you're an Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative member, go to waveruralconnect.com to sign up. That's waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-4WAVE-RC. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
We did it again. Evans Body Shop has been voted the best independent collision repair shop in the River Valley for the second year in a row. None of it would have been possible without our top-notch crew and our customers, friends, and family that take their time to vote for us. We would like to say thank you. We are humbled by the continued loyalty and support from our community and staff and will continue to go above and beyond every day. Evans Body Shop, 412 Gordon Avenue, Van Buren. Come by today and see why we say
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
The Catfish Kitchen at the top of Logtown Hill in Van Buren has lunch specials every weekday from 11 till 2, starting at only $7.99. Try the 3-piece catfish filet dinner with hand-cut fries and all the fixins. It's only $11.29. And the Catfish Kitchen is more than catfish. Try their shrimp dinners, cooked any way you like it. Chicken tenders, crab cakes, or one of their po' boy sandwiches. The Catfish Kitchen, open Tuesday through Sunday 11 till 9 at 727 Fayetteville Road at the top of Logtown Hill, across from the police station in Van Buren.
At Chambers Bank, our Arkansas roots grow deep, and you can trust us as your partner for every banking need. From a simple checking account to your first home loan, whatever you need, big or small, we are here for you. With 18 convenient branches throughout the state and a full suite of online banking options, we will always be available when you need us. Family owned in Arkansas since 1930, Chambers is your full-service community bank. Bank with trust at Chambers Bank. Member FDIC, equal housing lender, NMLS 631520.
Elite Roofing is a locally owned roofing contractor. If you're building a new home or maybe need a new roof on your existing home, Elite Roofing can take care of you. Elite Roofing is known for their dependability and reliability. Just ask any of their satisfied customers. They are licensed and insured, and references are available upon request. If you need a roof, call your local roofing contractors. Elite Roofing, 478-8668. That's 478-8668. Elite Roofing, 478-8668.
ESPN 95.3. Touchdown! Halftime is brought to you by Supercuts, who supports local teams. Supercuts. We're super into the movement.
Yeah, they got it going on.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Takes it on the hop at the 9. He's got a seam. Then planted as he got out to the 28-yard line. Dallas Washington picked him up and crushed him.
Halftime on a Tuesday. Matty T, Ty Richardson got you going today and tomorrow. Phil Elson set to join us back on Thursday. 877-377-6963 is the Cherokee Casino hotline. Let's go to the Cherokee Casino hotline to Eddie in Clarksville. Eddie, we got a lot of stuff to get to, so you keep it under about a minute and a half. That'd be great, man.
You bet, man. I just wanted to call in. I called in, and really since the San Jose State game, I officially got off the Coach Morris bandwagon. And I said then, sir, that there was a snowball building. I could see it. And you're seeing the effects of that snowball as it's gaining momentum. Not in a positive way for our program and this coaching staff, but a negative way. Listen here. You're talking about players want to lead the program, and then what does this class going to look at the end of the year? You know what, they're coming in. What can we bring in next year? I'm telling you, for a fan, I've been a fan since 1971. I've seen all the coaches since Frank Broyles up to date. And they're just, I tell you, this coaching staff is not showing anything positive that maybe things will be better even next year. And why does it take 7 games, starting with Auburn into the season, before you would bring or even try to get K.J. Jefferson or Hudson Henry or Stephen Jones up and going? Why does it take that? And I'm listening. I want this administration to hear that. And listen here, our program ought to be better alone than what it is. And we should never have a program as with our facilities, our tradition, our fan base. It's not where we are at today. That should never take place. And I can only think of Frank Broyles. You know what I mean? What would he do if I could speak for him? You know what I mean? Look at the facilities he built up there. And I tell you one thing, Frank, he might not always do the right thing, but he was invested in our program. He loved this university, and most of the time the decisions he's made were right. And he would not tolerate this. Thank you for taking my call.
Eddie, appreciate your call, man. So as far as the Frank Broyles things goes, yes, he'd be ticked, and I've made the reference he's rolling over in his grave based on the fact where this Arkansas program is. I mean, he has to be frustrated looking down at what Arkansas football has become. I opened the show with the fact that Arkansas has not had back-to-back losing seasons, 3 consecutive, since 1941 to 1943. That is a long time. I remember people were worried that Houston Nutt was going to get fired 04-05 because he had back-to-back losing seasons, and I don't think that had ever happened with Frank Broyles as the AD. It's just one of those things where you're frustrated. But if you look at it a little closer, y'all, you actually dive in to what Arkansas has done since joining the SEC, they're not that good. Look at it. Look at the statistics. Look at the win-loss record. Yes, you can say, oh, well, they've been in the SEC championship 3 times. They should have gone a 4th. I can't remember the tiebreaker. Was 98 the tiebreaker, I think? I think that was right. So you say, well, yeah, they've been 4 times, or excuse me, 3 times, Ty. Yes, they should be. But, I mean, look at the fact that they've never won. They've never gotten over the hump. Look at the record against the rest of the SEC opponents. And I don't want to sit here and sound like I don't really know what to describe myself right now. Just sound like a Debbie Downer or anything like that. But the success that you had in the Southwest Conference does not even compare to what it is in the SEC. It's so far and away better. mean, this was a majorly prominent program that had the President of the United States attend one of its games. 1 versus 2. Texas, 1969. Game of the century. When do you think that's going to happen again? And I'm not saying it can, but it's going to take a heck of a couple of recruiting classes and a coach that has such a tenacity, such a wizardry, that's a hard word to say, a wizardry about him that he's able to take this program to new heights. I don't know. It's a wait and see, I guess, thing. So, good call, Eddie, as always. I'm liking how you're shortening it up a little bit. I really appreciate that because I think sometimes, just like Phil and I occasionally will drone on, you will as well. All right, let's go to some text on the Cherokee Casino hotline. Aaron in Clarksville said, with an inconsistent O-line, you get inconsistent QB play. Aaron, you're exactly right. Think to the Texas A&M into series where Ben Hicks gets hit as he's letting the ball go. Kentucky, the exact same thing. You have to give these guys time because they're not world beaters. They're not a Trevor Lawrence. They're not a Justin Fields. They're not some of these other studs, Jalen Hurts. They're not those guys. Nick Starkel, as much as you want Nick Starkel and Ben Hicks to be in that same category, everyone with eyeballs knows that's not the case. It's just not. So you have to protect them as much as possible. But Arkansas, Dustin Fry and his offensive line really hasn't been able to do that. And that's not completely displacing the blame away from the quarterbacks because Nick Starkel had time against Kentucky. He just missed throws, man. He looked like a shell of himself in that football game. Porter texted in on the Cherokee Casino hotline. He says he and KJ were doing scout team. Does that mean they had 2 weeks of prep with the dual threat quarterback and couldn't stop a wide receiver / QB convert? Yes, that's exactly what that means. You prepped, I'm assuming, thinking that Lynn Bowden was going to start at quarterback and that Sawyer Smith was probably not going to get the majority of the snaps. And you didn't even, my guess is John Chavis and them didn't even think that Walker Wood was going to see that football field. And they still couldn't stop it. JT texted in on the Cherokee Casino hotline. He says, Ty, I think you do a great job, but we both know there won't be 50,000 at that game on Saturday. We're lucky to have 35,000 there. And I'm saying it's not going to get over 50,000. And if you're a recruit, and if you go to that atmosphere in Death Valley this past Saturday night, when it was just raucous, wild, and incredible, when the Tigers beat Florida, and then you go to Arkansas when there's not going to be many people there, I think I'll be there. I think I'm going to get to go to this game. Fingers crossed, knock on wood, because we'll have the pregame early, and I think Phil and I will be doing that. How can you choose Arkansas except if you think you're going to be able to play? Because the atmosphere doesn't compare. I will say this. Nebraska's fans, if you watched the Ohio State game when they just got pulverized by Justin Fields and the visiting Buckeyes, all of them were there in the fourth quarter. Spoke with Brett Good a few months back. I asked him, hey, Brett, who's a better fan base between Arkansas and Green Bay? He said Green Bay, and I was shocked because I just figured he'd play to the audience and say Arkansas. He said Arkansas. This idea out there that Arkansas has one of the best fan bases in college football or college sports in general is not true. It's not. Now, it may once have been when you were winning in football, when you were winning in basketball, and don't get me wrong, there's been some spectacular crowd performances, some spectacular amounts of people showing up. But again, this is not a top 5 fan base in college sports like so many of you want to make it out to be. It's not. And you can get mad at me for that. You can say that's not true. But I don't get this thrown out idea that this fan base is one of the best in college sports. Again, it might have been at one time. And fan bases always are great when you're winning. Except in like California when they care about pro sports and other crap. But I just don't necessarily believe in that line of thinking. John in Nashville texted in and says, it seems like there's been more opportunities that they've gotten to Starkel. And the more he regresses, the more they give Hicks, he progresses. I think that's fair. I think Ben Hicks has showed a lot more progress this season than Nick Starkel based on where he started. Nick Starkel hasn't looked good lately, which is kind of a bummer. Adam in Central Arkansas texted in on the Cherokee Casino hotline. He says we need to have 5+ ready offensive linemen, a new DC, a new O-line coach, a new offensive coordinator. Changing all of that probably only works with the new coach. I brought this up yesterday. Is Chad Morris the type of guy that's willing to cut loose, cut some of his ties, cut some of the guys that he's been working with for quite some time? If I remember correctly, Joe Craddock was a GA with him at Clemson, so he's been there. They've been tied to the hip for quite some time together. Is he willing to do that? You can't go through this season without letting someone go. I think I pointed this out yesterday. A lot of people would probably assume the scapegoat is going to be Dustin Fry or Joe Craddock. Will that actually happen? I don't know. I just know I'm not going to, I've told you this before, I'm not going to come out and say the head coach needs to be fired unless just the inevitable happens, or not the inevitable, but just they continuously get just horrendous the rest of the way. But what I will say is someone needs to be, a staff change or couple changes needs to be made by the end of the season. Carl from Lavaca texted on the Cherokee Casino hotline. He says, how do you think Juracek feels knowing that he's catching a lot of heat for someone he didn't hire? Because he's the interim AD who negotiated the deal with Morris, which led to the large buyout that we'd be faced with. Listen to Hog Pod with Julie Cromer. If you really want to get the inside of that story, listen to it with Julie Cromer. Juracek okayed that hire. They all met at the Morris's house in Dallas, had the conversation with him, Paula, talked with Julie Cromer. Unless she just blatantly lied on the podcast, if you really want to know everything that happened, you need to listen to that. I'd probably say that's the most insightful one yet that Bo's done. Listen to that podcast if you really want to know all that. Man, we've had a good first hour. 877-377-6963 is the Cherokee Casino hotline. Coming up in hour number 2, we got to talk about these close losses. 7 points, 4 points, 4 points. Red zone problems, they're still continuing. So much more coming up on halftime. Matty T, Ty Richardson.
Great camping weather is just around the corner, so at Breeden RV in Van Buren, we're having our year-end clearance sale right now. Get great deals on new RVs like travel trailers that start at $99.95 and fifth wheels starting under $30,000. Breeden RV is the only dealer that gives our new customers maintenance for life for free. We also have a great selection of pre-camp trailers and RVs to choose from. Now is the time to camp, and now is the time to let Breeden RV in Van Buren show you just how easy it can be. Breeden RV, your home for maintenance for life.
Oh, that's an RV.
Always get more at Orr.
We always put the customer first at Orr Chevrolet in Fort Smith. Since 1924, the Orr family of dealerships has grown based on one simple principle. Give the customer more money for their trades and give them a lower price on their new vehicle. It's a simple concept, really, but one that very few dealers honor anymore. Hey, we know you paid a lot of money for your vehicle, and Orr Chevrolet wants to pay you the maximum amount for it today. Then we'll give you an awesome price on a new Chevrolet. But we're not done giving you more. Included with any new vehicle sold, Orr Chevy will also give you a lifetime powertrain warranty, 2 years of free maintenance, and free car washes for life. So come get a lower price and more money for your trade today at Orr Chevrolet on Auto Park Drive in Fort Smith and 24/7 at OrChevyFS.com. Chevy, find new roads.
You always get more at Orr.
Hi, this is Lindsay White with White Office Machines. For over 90 years, my family's been serving the greater Fort Smith region with the image industry's newest technologies, as well as providing superior customer service through long-term business relationships. As the area's only authorized Kyocera document solutions dealer, White Office Machines provides the best value with high-speed copiers and the latest multifunction printers. Stop by our office in downtown Fort Smith or in Russellville. Follow us on Facebook or go to whiteoffice.com.
White Office Machines since 1929.
Right now, I'm holding a perfectly ice-cold Coors Light. You know how I know it's the perfect temperature? Because the mountain on the can is blue. And also, it's really cold. Every Coors Light is cold filtered, cold lagered, and cold packaged. Notice how many times I said cold? 3 times. It's that cold. So make sure the mountain on your can of Coors Light is blue, because that means it's ready to enjoy. 2019 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Storm system lifting in, and we're going to start to work in some showers and a few thunderstorms for tonight. The further south that you go, everyone dealing with rounds of showers and thunderstorms and even some heavier rain as we're heading through Tuesday. Overnight lows falling between about 55 and 60, and our Tuesday high from the low to mid-70s. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Naramore with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Radio station.
KERX, Paris, Fort Smith, from the Bush and Bushlight Studios. This is ESPN 95.3.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Broadcasting live from the Bud Light Studio.
I love Arkansas! I love everything here! Give me that thing here! Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas? Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com.
You want answers! I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
This is Halftime.
Man, that ball got out of here in a hurry.
With Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Phil, you're one of the best baseball announcers in the country, and Ty, you're one of the best up-and-coming young talents in the broadcasting industry. You really do your homework.
See ya, D-Mac. Hold on, Matt Ryan. D-Mac not looking back. Touchdown. How about that Heisman, Mark Jones? How do you like it? Wide open again.
All right, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Halfway done with halftime on a Tuesday. Matty T, Ty Richardson in here. 877-377-6963. Call or text. We're technologically sound. We can do it in a variety of different ways. Or you can get us on our live stream, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope. If you want to comment there, we'll read off those comments as well. So I teased it before the top of the hour. Arkansas this season has lost some close football games. You think about what would we be talking about right now if those games had swung the other way, or if they found a way to win 1, 2, what if 3? 4 points, 4 points, 7 points. A&M, Kentucky, San Jose State. Now, this doesn't really need to be said, but it needs to be said. The San Jose State loss was unacceptable. A phrase that Chad Morris has used several times, and I cannot stress it enough about how unacceptable that loss was. Embarrassing. Just unbelievably embarrassing. A&M, that's the one of the three where you just expect to lose every single game. A lot of you expect to lose every game the rest of the way, starting at the beginning of the season as well. But the A&M, it's such a puzzling game. It's such a weird. You think the transitioning of coaches, it wouldn't have that same effect, but for whatever reason, A&M has something on the University of Arkansas through 4 coaches: Sumlin, Fisher, Bielema, Morris. I just counted 5. That's 4. Need to go back to elementary school. It's preceded that. It's gone over a couple of coaches on both sides, on both teams. This is what killed Brett Bielema. This is why he was let go from the University of Arkansas. You could point to recruiting, and that's part. It's not just nailed down to one point. But if you look at what happened in his tenure at the University of Arkansas, how many times did they lose close games that you're just agonizing over to this day? Those games don't just go away. I remember when I was a sophomore in college, I didn't even go to the Alabama game because I thought Arkansas would just get massacred. I wake up in the third quarter because I stayed out late the night before working, not partying, working. I was a good kid for my freshman to junior year. And little did I find out that Arkansas is up. So I'm at the Lynx Apartments up in Fayetteville, and I haul butt to the stadium. And I get in, I'm sitting with my buddy Denver and his dad, and we're watching the game, only to watch Arkansas lose. How many games can you point to in the Brett Bielema tenure that you're just not in awe, but just blown away by the fact they managed to screw it up? And through this first year and a half, you could say the same thing about Chad Morris. How did you not do that against Texas A&M or Texas A&M in 2018, 2019? How did you lose to San Jose State? How did you blow it against Kentucky with their 4th string quarterback. There's a couple last year you could point to. Man. Colorado State game, the Ole Miss game, the LSU game. LSU, not so much. That's not. You can be more frustrated with the Ole Miss. LSU, that was just an ugly football game. But again, that's what killed Bielema. Our buddy Connor O'Gara, who we have on every Monday, is a columnist for Saturday Down South, ranked the SEC coaches so far at this point in the season. He had Chad Morris at 14, even behind Derek Mason. He said, you don't get to move past a loss to San Jose State like it's nothing. Although Arkansas came into 2019 with low expectations, Morris still doesn't have his quarterback situation figured out. It's a fair point. Because neither seems to be able to fully grasp his system. The defense, well, Arkansas just let a receiver start at quarterback and run for nearly 200 yards in a loss to Kentucky that was in rough shape offensively before Saturday. Perhaps Club Dub should have opened when Morris finally beat a Power 5 team in Arkansas. That'll happen, right? Question mark. He still hasn't beaten a Power 5 team as a head coach. Now, it's not necessarily the fairest way to look at it because he didn't get a lot of cracks at that when he was at SMU, but he's gotten a lot of cracks at it at Arkansas. You can't go 0-16 in your first 2 years. This losing has sparked some controversy, obviously, and that has fans going back to an old friend, Bobby P. There's been a petition started on change.org. I'm not going to tweet it out. I'm not going to do it because it's so stupid. John Barry started this petition, and it's rehire Bobby Petrino as the coach of the Arkansas football team. And it goes into his arguments, and there's a lot of them. And there's rebuttals and a summary, epilogue. I'll read the epilogue for you. It says, someone mentioned me the other day how Coach Bielema rarely seemed to engage with players on the sidelines during entire football games. While Chad Morris has certainly failed at leading the Razorbacks, and despite issues like not traveling with the team for road games, I do think he deserves some credit for trying. Now we need a fiery coach who will be demanding officials to look the players in the eyes, have zero bleep mentality, tell Les Miles of the world how he really feels. That's one of the all-time Bobby P moments. 2011 when he's cussing at Les Miles across the field and bringing the Razorbacks back into the conversation. That's where you're at right now as a fan base. A guy who was a great coach. I will give him that 100%. But could have gotten the university sued because of his infidelity. You realize that. The other candidates that applied for Jessica Durrell's, they could have sued the university. That is a thing. That is an actual thing that could have happened. It didn't, luckily, because then you'd be a heck of a lot more trouble than you were after that. But my goodness. The fact, it's, okay. Who's seen, I'm trying to think which Chronicles of Narnia. Great books, not that, I mean, Matty T, you've seen Chronicles of Narnia. This is a movie stuff.
The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Okay.
Is that the same series?
So, yeah, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
I'm a big fan of the book.
Okay, yeah. C.S. Lewis, tremendous author, great books. I'll reference the book. There's I'm forgetting, I think it's Prince Caspian. There's a part where the White Witch, and I'm dating myself a little bit, but I think there's a decent amount of people that have read those books. There's a part where the White Witch, they're debating if they should bring her back to life because they've gone up against a new group of enemies, and they just need a drop of Adam's blood is what they called it. And this was like the person that tried to kill them, like a book earlier. That's what you're almost, in the sense, getting with Bobby Petrino. This is the guy that screwed up your program, that brought in John L. Smith, and then you got to Bielema based off that.
But Ty, he cried at the Little Rock Touchdown Club. Didn't you hear it?
Listen, he can be emotional about that, but there's some things that you can forgive someone for something. That doesn't.
You don't have to forget.
You just don't have to forget. That's a great analogy, Matt. You just don't necessarily have to bring that person back into your life. Got a text from Clifty. I'm gonna have to read this. What's Clifty saying? Oh, it's a story. Dang, Clifty, listen to the program, buddy. It's one of our sales guys. So, that's a bad idea. I don't know why we're still actually having conversation. I don't know why fans actually think that's a cognitive something that could be turned into reality. It's not. Bobby Petrino is never going to set foot back as the University of Arkansas head football coach. And if I need to I don't know. There was a Casey Smith over Barstool said she'd eat crow if A&M beat Alabama this weekend. What's something that I can do that would be so gross and disgusting that I can say because I know that's not going to happen? What do I need to eat on this program, Matt, if Bobby Petrino becomes the head football coach at Arkansas again?
I mean, it's got to be bigger than 8 corn dogs because you've done that before.
I don't know. Someone think of something. But that's not going to happen, folks. Ross in Paris texted on the Cherokee Casino hotline. He says, breaking news, Chad Morris has entered the transfer portal. I know a lot of fans have entered the transfer portal because they've been so frustrated where the football program is at. And you have a right to be. But, man, I don't see how it gets any better from here. Oh, man. Halftime's brought to you in part by Breeden RV and Power Sports. Upfront, no-hassle pricing. Every trailer RV is heavily discounted. Savings, new travel trailers, and new motorhomes. And it's home of Maintenance for Life. Maintenance for Life. You get that. It's a place where customers become our friends. I'm friends with Ransom. He's a good guy. All his crew over there is great. They have monthly service specials, great selection of pre-owned trailers and motorhomes. It's off Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. And it's where dreams become reality. Breeden RV and Power Sports. Start your adventure with us. You can check them out online at BreedenRVs.com. Arkansas needs to get the ball to its playmakers. Traylon Burks, Rakeem Boyd, Cheyenne O'Grady. Get the ball to your dudes. That typically happens. We'll talk about that next. Halftime, ESPN Arkansas. Hit that line.com.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson. Follow them on Twitter at Phil Elson PXP and at Ty Sports Radio. This is the Morning Rush.
I don't get that.
That tells me
you don't have the KI, man. You don't have the killer instinct.
Yeah, exactly. You are worried more about what the other team's going to do instead of what you should do.
Exactly.
And you can't do that. You can't be a football coach of a successful football team doing that.
That tells me you have no confidence at all.
That's not a winning formula.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3.
Eagle Crest Golf Course is open, and winter rates are now in effect. Just $35 to enjoy Eagle Crest Golf Course, card included. Winter rates are back, and Eagle Crest is ready for you. Lush zoysia fairways, beautiful bent grass greens, and the best views in the River Valley. Just $35, card included. So get your golf buddies together and head to Eagle Crest Golf Course. Winter rates just $35. Eagle Crest Golf Course, Highway 64, just east of Alma.
The Ram Power Days event at Williams Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Stigler, Oklahoma is underway. You can now get 0% APR for 60 months plus $2,000 combined bonus cash for up to $10,348 in estimated total value on select all-new 2019 Ram 1500 Laramie Crew Cab 4x4 models. Become one of the many proud and satisfied Ram owners with a great deal this month during Ram Power Days event at Williams Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Stigler. Log on to buywilliams.com for more information.
Do you hear that Coors Light being poured? It's the perfect temperature. How can I tell just based on the sound? I can't. But I can see that the mountain on the can is blue. And when the mountain is blue, your Coors Light is perfectly cold. Coors Light is cold lagered for a crisper taste, cold filtered for brightness and clarity, and cold packaged for peak refreshment. Doesn't that sound good? 2019 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Frank Rowe Furniture.
Made in the USA Furniture.
Frank Rowe Furniture.
Made in the USA Speed Queen Washer and Dryers.
Frank Rowe Furniture.
In-store, no credit check financing.
Frank Rowe Furniture.
0 down and 0 interest with approved credit.
Frank Rowe Furniture.
Family owned and no high-pressure sales staff.
Frank Rowe Furniture.
Find us on Facebook and Instagram. 405 Fort Street, Barling, Arkansas. Your Made in the USA headquarters.
Best seats in the house.
Your fence is more than a decoration. It's a reflection of its owner. Choosing a fence company should be done with integrity and quality in mind. The Fence Man has been providing fencing and security solutions for over 40 years. An in-house custom iron and gate department, plus an access control department. The Fence Man offers services other companies aren't equipped to do. The Fence Man. Fencing and security solutions to protect what matters most. 479-782-3936 or online at thefencemancompany.com, a division of Quantum Property Services.
If you have experience
experience transporting frozen and refrigerated goods and want to be part of a trucking family with insurance and be home every week, you need to contact Brent Higgins Trucking. Since 1997, Brent Higgins Trucking in Mulberry has been proudly delivering to and from various areas of the United States, including but not limited to Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. Brent Higgins Trucking, where you're a name, not a number. Call them at 479-997-2366 or log on to BrentHigginsTrucking.com.
I think you love that car more than you love me.
Oh, how could you say that?
You hand wash it, you hand wax it, you listen to the same music.
Pure coincidence.
I just hope your insurance company feels the same way about it as you do.
They do. I'm one happy camper.
Maybe that's the reason so many people come to Shelter for their car insurance. We have great agents who are nuts about cars. We're competitively priced, and our claims people are fast, fair, and friendly. To find an agent near you, go to shelterinsurance.com. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Ask Shelter agents Ted McAvoy or Jeff Clark about a free insurance review.
ESPN 95.3. Touchdown! Halftime is brought to you by Supercuts, who supports local teams. Supercuts. We're super into the movement.
Yeah, they got it going on.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
And he's on in place of the injured Ryan Mallett, and he has been brilliant. 12 of 13. That one's caught. Touchdown. Whoa, what a rope.
Oh, my goodness.
Joe Adams.
There's not a backup in the country that can throw a ball like that.
Got an interesting comment on Facebook, and I hope Scott's still listening. Scott Sourbuts.
I mean, the name says everything, doesn't it?
I guess.
Mr. Sourbuts to you.
So Scott puts on our Facebook live stream, he says, why do you keep talking about and keep piling on the players and coaches until no one wants to come here and coach and players don't want to come here and play? If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. Scott and I went to the University of Arkansas, graduated there, had an unbelievable experience, especially my last 2 years. I would not trade it for anything. I would not be doing my job as a radio host, even though I went there and I love my time there, by not telling you what I actually think. So, and to be honest, man, I don't think that Chad Morris, the coaching staff, recruits, or anyone else care about what I have to say. Now, if I was spreading lies, false rumors, and stuff like that, that would be one thing. But my opinion itself, I don't think they really care about that. It's not my job to be a publicist, a PR person for the University of Arkansas. It's not
You're
John's
not on the
job.
payroll?
No. I wish it was. It's not John's job. It's not Tommy's job. It's not my job. It's not anyone that works at this radio station's job to give PR to the University of Arkansas. When they do good in football, basketball, baseball, our main three that we hit on, I'll tell you about it. When they do bad, I'll give you my opinion on what happened. Now, it may not be the most educated. And again, I've stressed several times, I have a lot to learn as a 24-year-old radio host. The youngest in the state by like 7 years. So again, there's a lot more people in this state that have experience when it comes to covering and talking about the University of Arkansas than me. And I've made that abundantly clear. But Scott, you can't tell me that I can't tell you what I think. Just like you have your opinion, I have mine. So I had to get to that real quick. Let's go back to the Cherokee Casino hotline. Chad in Paris text in. He says, have we ever had more than 3 consecutive losing seasons? Chad, I looked this morning. I'll double check it again. I don't think so. I don't think that's correct. I'm pretty sure about that. Eric in Hot Springs text in on the Cherokee Casino hotline. He says, why not give KJ a shot and see if he can spark the offense? Well, I can tell you don't want to give him a shot against Auburn, Eric, because this is probably the best defensive line in college football. You don't want him to play in his first game, regardless if it's at home, and I know that's a big factor than having to travel to Jordan-Hare. You don't want him to have to play the Auburn defensive line in his first start. Or even, now maybe I need to bring myself back a little bit. If you want to play him a little bit, I guess I don't have as much problem with that. Again, he only has 4 games to keep his red shirt, and Chad Morris has made it very clear that he wants to redshirt KJ Jefferson this year. I just don't know how much you're going to gain out of him playing. I know he's the runner. I know that people really want to see him play. I don't know how much of an impact that he will make. But again, until we actually see him on the football field, we'll never know. Devin in Boonville says, it would make me feel a lot better to see Chad Morris getting the younger guys more involved, getting experience on both sides of the ball, especially if we're going to lose most of the games anyway, if there's nothing left to play for the rest of the year. So, Devin, to that point, if there's guys that haven't played at all yet this season, use them the last 4 games. I 100% agree with that. If they played a little bit, you don't want to burn their red shirt. And I know there's nothing left to play for, but if you think Chad Morris is going to come back next year and you think he still is going to revitalize this program, then what they have to play for is the eligibility aspect. And that means you don't want to burn their red shirt just for no reason. Now, if they're a vital player, if they're a vital cog in the offense or defensive side of the football, like Trey Knox, Traylon Burks has been, Greg Brooks, that's one thing. But it's another thing to just burn Jalen Cattle on these last couple games. I think he's played an eensy-teensy bit, or KJ Jefferson, because I think those are the 2 guys that fans are clamoring for the most, is to see Jalen Catalon play safety and KJ Jefferson play quarterback. Adam in Springdale references the Nebraska comment. He said, Nebraska is trending up and showing progress under Frost. We haven't seen any progress under Morris. That's fair. You haven't really seen any progress under Morris. They would have to flip a 180. And I think there's potential for them to be Mississippi State. Mississippi State does not look like a great football team this year. They keep going back and forth between Stevens and Schrader. Joe Moorhead, I don't necessarily call him a fraud, but I think he's had a lot more hype coming into Starkville than he did. And I think that goes to show you what Dan Mullen did at Starkville is incredible. And I know he jumped ship for Florida. I would jump ship for Florida. It's a lot more fertile recruiting ground, a lot more tradition, and it's just hard to recruit to Starkville. Greg in Fort Smith with a kind of a random text. He said, the best bleep white chili is served alongside with jalapeno cornbread. Man, that looks good right now, Greg. I haven't eaten in a minute. You like white chili, Matty T?
I don't. Yes, I've only had it a couple of times, but that is pretty random. That's what he's like. He's not even going to try to talk about the Razorbacks. He just says, let's talk about white chili.
I know Ruskin and Zach love their food topics, and y'all know me. I love talking food, too. Phil and I, what we try and do is we have our topic set. It's like all sports except for like one segment, and then every once in a while we just get on a food tangent.
Is there a food topic set for today?
There's not one today, but it can be added to the very
something day. It's not like National Hot Dog Day.
I don't know. I can look. The National
It seems like it's always something.
It's Face Your Fears Day is the holiday that I picked out from today. So, but that's that. So, I referenced the getting the ball to your playmakers before we came into this segment. We'll do that now. Do you know Rakeem Boyd is has the most rushing yards in the SEC? 617. Kylan Hill's behind him. Keyshawn Vaughn's behind him after that. But this team is 123rd in touchdown scoring percentage in the red zone, 127th in red zone scoring D. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that they have the talent that LSU is rolling out there at wide receiver and running back. And they certainly don't have Jerry Jeudy, Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith, and I always forget the last wide receiver. Jeudy, Waddle, Smith, and
Ringo.
I'm forgetting the other Alabama wide receiver. They have 4 studs, just 4 All-American type dudes. It's going to really frustrate me if I can't figure that last guy out. So that, or they don't have Amari Rodgers, Justin Ross, T. Higgins at Clemson, and of course, why am I forgetting? I almost said Noah Devine. That's West Virginia running back. Someone help me out with Clemson. Porter, I know you're listening. Clemson running back that's not coming to mind. This is really going to frustrate me. Travis Etienne. That's it. That's really going to frustrate me. That took me like 5 seconds to figure his name out. They don't have that talent. But you have a 6'5 guy in Traylon Burks. You have a stud. I said 6'5. Trey Knox. Getting tongue-tied for a sec. 6'5 Trey Knox. Traylon Burks, who just seems to make a play every time he touches the football. The punt return he had against Kentucky, he just looked like he was jogging and then took off. Tight end Shine O'Grady, one of the better tight ends in the country. Rakeem Boyd, leader in the SEC. So you have some dudes at those positions. I just don't understand. And yeah, I think Mike Woods is a really underrated wide receiver. Now, he's had some miscues at times this season, but I think you've had some guys. You just have to find a way to punch it in the end zone. You have to. You absolutely have to. And it's the same thing over and over where they can't put the ball in the end zone in these close games. That has to change in order for them to get just one SEC win this season. Derek and Fort Smith texted in on the Cherokee Casino hotline. He said something is different with Starkel. His gunslinger mentality seems to be dialed back exponentially, especially after San Jose State. Well, throwing 5 picks will do that to you. Maybe he's playing a little scared. He's short-leashed from coaches. Injury, question mark. I haven't heard anything about an injury. I don't think anyone has touched on that. And this, obviously, the stinger he got in the Texas A&M game, but I haven't heard anything recently about that might be plaguing his play. If someone else has, let me know. I don't think I've read up, listened to the press conference. I haven't heard anyone ask Chad Morse about that. But that's a good question, Derek. I think it goes to more the guy behind him in Ben Hicks, who has shown the ability at times this season to come in and play well. Sean from Alma texted on the Cherokee Casino hotline. He says, at the same time, you say knit fairly a lot because, what is he saying? NIT? Because he didn't really play many Power 5 schools while at SMU. You say his record there should have been better. No, I 100% agree. I was having trouble reading that. Sometimes when people voice in the text get messed up. Yes, Chad Morse probably should have had a better record in year 3 at SMU than 7-6. Don't disagree with you here. Greg texted in from Blue Eye. He's got a long one. He said, it just dawned on me. Morse is an analytics man. It's unusual in the high school level, which probably explains his success there. It probably also contributed to him being a very good coordinator, but it does not make him for a good head coach, where decisions must be made quickly, definitely, and sometimes based on gut. That explains why during the games and post-games he acts like he hopes the game will hurry up and be over so he can get back and study it for statistics. Well, I don't think he just wants to be there because they're losing. It's why he can't make the decision or quarterback or other positions. He wants to study everything instead of be a coach. I'm afraid he can never graduate to the next level. Well, as far as the quarterback situation goes, Greg, appreciate the text, man. Would you definitively come out with a quarterback, Hicks or Starkel, based on what you've seen at this point of the season? I wouldn't. I've watched every game probably like you have. And I don't think there's been a clear-cut guy between those two. And I don't buy into the rumors that we heard about John Stephen Jones in the offseason because you heard the exact same thing about Dalton Hyatt. Those are press clippings for Jerry Jones. You can get mad at me for saying that. I'm just telling you my opinion on that. That's what I think. Arkansas has only played one team with a winning record this season. Know who it is? That's next on Halftime.
No hidden agendas on this program. You're listening to Halftime.
Did someone say, I'm hungry? Visit 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge on the Avenue. Try the new panini sandwiches like the chicken pyro or the Cubana or the signature 906 wings. Jumbo wings roasted with honey bacon jam. Want some spice? Try the black and blue wings. Experience their salads, flatbreads, coffees and desserts, top shelf wines and liquors, premium beers, world-class cigars, all in an atmosphere that feels less like a lounge and more like a destination. Sample, indulge, escape. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Treat your appetite on the Avenue.
I'm Lisa Hinton, owner of Champ Hinton Enterprises. For nearly 50 years, the Champ Hinton name has stood for one thing: selling quality cars in a different way, taking the mumbo jumbo out of the process and making customers happy. All these years and tens of thousands of cars later, we're still here, doing business the way Champ Hinton taught us, selling to generations of families who've become part of our family. Champ Hinton Enterprises, the area's premier used car dealer. Take the Arcoma exit off I-540 or go online at champhinton.com.
Have you been looking for your next place to call home and just haven't found the right one? Then it's time to check out the properties at Trinity Multifamily. With a variety of apartments, duplexes, townhomes, and houses, there is surely one to fit your needs. Whether it's in the River Valley, Northwest Arkansas, or Central Arkansas that you are looking at, they have you covered. Give them a call today. Trinity Multifamily, 479-452-1817. That's 479-452-1817. Or online at trinitymultifamily.com to search rental properties near you.
Mentor's Lumber True Value has the lowest prices on the items you use every day. Today, 4 packs of GE LED light bulbs are just $9.99 each. Choose from 5-watt or 8-watt soft white or daylight dimmable bulbs. They are all rated for 15,000 hours of life. Head over to the electrical department for these bargains of the month now while supplies last. Mentor's Lumber True Value with locations in Alma, Ozark, and Clarksville.
Light bulbs burn out, so it's dark.
Right now, you can save up to $5,000 off on select in-ground pools at Burton Pools and Spas. Hi, Tommy Kraft here. Now is the perfect time to start planning your own backyard oasis for next summer so you can relax and enjoy the lazy days poolside next year with family and friends. It's the perfect way to unwind after work or do a staycation. And don't make that long trip this next summer. Vacation in your own backyard. Burton Pools and Spas also has luxury spas, grills, and patio furniture that will complete your outdoor living space. So don't wait. Right now is the time. Save up to $5,000 on select in-ground pools, including saltwater models. It's all at Burton Pools and Spas. This special deal is first come, first served. Stop in their store in Fort Smith and in Springdale for all the details. Fall is the perfect time to start working on your in-ground pool with Burton Pools and Spas in Fort Smith and in Springdale and online at burtonpools.com. Burton Pools and Spas, your source for backyard fun.
ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
On first down now, Boyd the call. Catch back across the 40. Raheem to midfield. To the 40. To the 30. To the 20. He's going to the house. Raheem Boyd for a touchdown.
So the Solid Verbal podcast, one of my buddies, Ty Hildebrandt, and why am I blanking on the other guy's name? They used to do it for SB Nation. Now I think it's by itself. Now it's not Seth Rosenthal. All right, it's not important. But they came out with a statistic yesterday that 7 weeks in, the following teams have not played a team with a current winning record: Clemson, Arkansas, NC State, and Utah. Now, I don't know if they meant to add in FBS because I actually looked at it. Portland State is 4-3 so far this season. So there's that. But if they meant FBS, they're right. Ole Miss is 3-4. Colorado State's 2-5. San Jose State's 3-3. A&M's 3-3. Probably gonna finish 7-5. Jimbo's gonna be on the hot seat. Kentucky's 3-3. These teams have a combined record of 18-21. Now, good news, folks. Arkansas's remaining strength of schedule, according to ESPN, has dropped to 3 instead of being at 1. So at least you have that, whippersnappers. But it's going to be a rough road the rest of the way. And that's why, folks, the games early on were so important to win. It's Dan Rubenstein. That's what I was thinking of. Couldn't remember Dan. Dan's a good dude. That's why these games are so important early on that you should have won. That's why San Jose State. That's why you should have had a better chance against Ole Miss, better against Kentucky. These teams are not that good. And I know Arkansas is pretty bad. Maybe I'm being light on that. But you had a chance to beat them. And you didn't do it. Efficiency-wise, Arkansas's 13th in the SEC right now, only beating out Vanderbilt. 41.8 offense, defense, and special teams combined efficiency. 41.8. They are 80th in college football in scoring offense and 68th in scoring defense. Those are stats you don't want to be associated with. And you need some dudes. You need some guys in here, and you also need to coach them up. B in Clarksville texted on the Cherokee Casino hotline. He says, we had the athletes at the U of A that are heartbroken because they aren't producing wins themselves, the coaching staff, and the Razorback fan base. At this point, all we can do is hurry up and wait. That idea, I don't know if all the fans listening, BE, are going to be in to do that. I don't know about that. I just don't think fans are patient enough. And again, you have a right not to be patient. Colorado State, San Jose State, North Texas. There's reasons not to be patient. Plus these losses that a couple of them you probably shouldn't won. James from Dumas says, any other players expected to hit the portal after Devin Bush's departure? You lost your 4-star cornerback and can't afford to lose anymore. James, you're exactly right. I can't tell you personally because I'm not as connected to the players that I used to be. When I was in college, I actually got some good intel on some of these guys, having classes and stuff, being friends with them. I'm not as connected personally with some of these dudes. I know a couple, but not a lot. So I can't personally attest to that. Nikki's going to have some good info. Danny's going to have some good info. Richard's going to have some good info. I mean, there's guys and gals out there that are more plugged in recruiting-wise because they build the relationship from the ground up when they're in high school, get to campus and stuff. But I have not heard anything. And I pay attention. I get texts. I don't have a lot of sources this early in my career, but I text as many as I can on some of these kids, and I have not heard anything. But that's not to say it's going to happen. There will be players that transfer out more by the end of the season. William in Jonesboro says, players are leaving the program. Recruits are jumping ships. The coaches have no real explanations on what is going on. There's no player development. Why has there been no response from our AD? This sounds like the same old story from the last 7 years. Are Jeff Long and Brett Bielema secretly running things on campus? Now, this is a wait-and-see thing with Hunter Yurachek. I think most listening right now think he's done a pretty good job. And I think the same was said about Jeff Long at the time, but then down the road, things got a little hairy. Now, there were some things he came in and did because, remember, Frank had been the AD for so long, since, the 70s? And so people get set in their ways. That's just a fact of life. Just coming here talking with Tommy, the transition with me coming in was a little different. I offered up some technological stuff that we should do at the radio station. And again, Tommy did his thing with Ruskin and stuff for, I think, 10 plus years or something. He was set doing that ways. It's hard for people to transition sometimes. Luckily, he's been really accommodating with me and John's ideas and coming in, and that's why we enjoy working with him. But it's not easy to transition athletic directors. And personally, and I think a lot of you listening right now would say that Hunter Yurachek has done a pretty good job. I mean, does anyone want to call in and tell me otherwise? 877-377-6963 is our Cherokee Casino hotline. You're welcome to voice your disapproval of Hunter Yurachek. I think people are angry with Chad Morris, and they associate him with Hunter Yurachek. I don't think Hunter Yurachek has done a bad job. I think he's listened to a lot of fans, Hogtown, Nolan Richardson, Court, on and on and on. I think he's done a pretty good job. People might be mad that he doesn't have the Arkansas Razorback blood in him. Folks, there's not a lot of candidates out there that have strong ties to the University of Arkansas when it comes to athletic administration, coaching, even some recruits. It's seldom seen. That doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be bad at whatever they do at Arkansas. People just like to see Arkansans or ties to the program, which I get. But if the guy or gal does a good job, do you really care? If Hunter Yurachek probably didn't, I remember, I'm trying to go back to his opening press conference. I don't know if he said he'd been to Arkansas or the campus, but if he continues what I think has been a pretty good path, and if he projects out on the up and up, do you really care that he didn't have strong ties to Arkansas like Frank did? Now, no athletic director is ever going to compare to Frank Broyles. I get that. But an Arkansas tie doesn't make you a better candidate than the guy that doesn't have one or the gal that doesn't have one. That's just my opinion on that. Randy asked, I can text Tyler this question, Randy. Why doesn't Tyler take over the quarterback coach? He was coached by one of the best. I think Tyler's pretty happy doing real estate down there in Little Rock. I don't know. It's a question you can ask him. Tweet at him. Facebook message him. Blow him up with text. I'm kidding. He would not be a big fan of that. I don't know how much he wants to get back into coaching. I know he used to do some quarterback camp a while back. I don't know if he still does that. I think he goes to Greenwood and sees Rick Jones' squad every once in a while, but I don't know how invested he wants to get back into football. I haven't asked him in a while. I haven't seen Tyler face-to-face in quite some time, but next time I see him, I'll ask him. Aaron in Clarksville texted on the Cherokee Casino hotline. I'm doing a decent job solo this week. Appreciate it, Aaron. I'll tell you what, man. The great thing about working with Phil is the least egotistical, most talented guy. It's such a blessing to work with that dude. And again, we've talked about this. My first intro to him is like, hey, man, I'm Ty. Hey, I'm Phil. Dude's 42. I'm 23 at the time. Is this really going to work? Or just 41, 23 because we're 18 years apart. I was like, I'm thinking to myself, is this really going to work? I think it has so far. I think most of our listeners enjoy it. But that's one thing I really enjoy about working with Phil. Matt, you got a chance to work with Phil in Little Rock.
Quite a few times over the years. And also we have one very big thing in common. Massive Weird Al fans. And so I saw him at the Weird Al concert in Little Rock.
I love that. Yeah, he's a big-time Weird Al Yankovic fan. And again, I really enjoy working with Phil. I'm not just in – partially, it'd be one thing for me to say it when he's here on air, but I think it sounds better coming from me when I'm saying it when he's not here. So I'm not dogging him or anything. But, yeah, we'll get him back on Thursday. So he'll be back from visiting the kiddos on Thursday. So we're really excited to have him back. I'm kind of curious to what his take's going to be. We're going to get past the point. You know how he's been crumpling up the paper to move on to the next game? We'll be past that point, so he might touch on Kentucky a little bit. I don't know how much, but I am really curious to get his verbal takes on the air of what he thought about the Kentucky game and what he thinks about the Auburn game. But again, he's going to be back with us on Thursday. Justin Van Buren, if I get talk today, Justin in Van Buren says on the Cherokee Casino Hotline, Chad Morris got hit early in the Kentucky game, I believe. I don't remember him getting hit. Maybe he's talking about Nick Starkel? Yeah, I don't remember Chad Morris getting hit at all. Clarence from Junction City says SEC games are won on the line of scrimmage. What's more important for the Hogs this offseason? New O-line, defensive coordinator, OC. I'm thinking all three is what Clarence from Junction City texted on the Cherokee Casino Hotline. We'll see what happens, man. Again, I think there has to be a coaching change at some point by the end of the season. Will it happen? Time will tell. 877-377-6963 is the number to call in. Get Off My Lawn is next. Matty T, Ty Richardson here on Halftime. ESPN Arkansas. Hit that line.com.
No hidden agendas on this program. You're listening to Halftime.
We've invented a new messaging system using the crisp sounds of Bud Light. Crisp Code. Lesson 42. This is how you say happy hour. It's happy hour. Let's go get some Bud Lights. That's it for today.
Brewed with no corn syrup. Bud Light. Crisp. Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair is your one-stop shop for all repairs. Paintless Dent Repair, door dings, unsightly dents, and hail damage repair, all repaired to like new conditions. With over 1 million repaired vehicles with satisfied customers, Michael Littleton is the expert in paintless repair. Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair, conveniently located 3 miles from the Arcoma exit off Highway 112. Or call 479-461-9764. Your number one Arkansas fan.
Do you love crab legs? Then get to the Catfish Kitchen in Van Buren every Tuesday and Saturday night for all you can eat crab legs. Eat all the meaty, delicious crab legs you can hold. Plus all the fixin', coleslaw, beans, and the best hush puppies. Plus your drink, dessert, and ice cream are all included. It's only $44.95. That's all you can eat crab legs every Tuesday and Saturday night from 4 till 8 at the Catfish Kitchen. 727 Fayetteville Road at the top of Logtown Hill, across from the police station in Van Buren.
Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative is excited to introduce Wave Rural Connect, bringing state-of-the-art fiber internet, TV, and phone services right into the homes of all their members. Get amazing fast fiber internet 100 megabits for only $49.95 per month, or 1 gigabit for $79.95 per month. Go to waveruralconnect.com to find out where they're installing in your area, or call 1-833-4WAVE-RC. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources. Fall is my favorite time of the year. Football, fine weather, and my chance to flip the lot. We're out to sell every single car in our Rath Road Ready inventory and flip the lot during our fall clearance. That's right, every vehicle must go. To make it happen, we're discounting our entire inventory with savings up to $4,300 below retail. Even our special purchase vehicles are included, like 2018 Hyundai Elantra SELs for only $13,991. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center with buy 3, get 1 free on all tires and 50% off brake pads. Don't miss out on the savings. Help us flip the lot. Get the Rath Road Ready vehicle that's perfect for you and save up to $4,300 during the fall clearance at Arkansas's #1 rated and reviewed independent dealer, Rath Auto Resources, and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online at rathauto.com.
Requires bank approval. Vehicle purchase price affects trade allowance.
Supercuts of Arkansas is raising breast cancer awareness and donating to Bright Pink. Bright Pink is the only nonprofit organization that focuses on prevention and early detection of breast and ovarian cancer. Join the fight, breast cancer awareness. Donating to Bright Pink, the only nonprofit organization. Supercuts help them reach their goal of $10,000. Supercuts is conveniently located and serving its community 7 days a week. Supercuts, they're super into the movement. Supercuts, fresh, clean, sharp.
Unlimited personal group training at the Fort Smith Athletic Club. Personal group training is a great way to create accountability for your fitness while improving mobility, endurance, and overall wellness. Reach your fitness goals faster with personal group training. Only $60 a month. Call Mike Johnson at 479-926-0193. These workouts are high intensity and get results in under an hour. Only $60 a month. Call for class schedules and details. 479-926-0193. Results happen here at the Fort Smith Athletic Club.
ESPN 95.3. Touchdown! Halftime is brought to you by Supercuts, who supports local teams. Supercuts. We're super into the movement.
Yeah, they got it going on.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Sterner, 5-step drop this time, going for the home run, and it's caught! It's Lucas, and he's heading for the end zone. Touchdown, Arkansas, 80 yards!
Last segment on Halftime, ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com. Still live streaming, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, also online, hitthatline.com, 96.3 in Hot Springs, 104.3 Harrison Mountain Home, and then also 95.3 the River Valley and Fort Smith. So, on a Tuesday, every Tuesday, we do a little Get Off Our Lawn.
Get off my lawn.
Listen, old man.
Do not your what? Announce my presence with authority. Perhaps I could be of some assistance.
The old man.
Get Off My Lawn, presented by Breeden RV and Power Sports.
So last couple mornings, it's been a little brisk outside. That's perfect camping weather. So if you're going camping or thinking about it, there's no other place to go than Breeden RV. In the clearance sale going on right now. Deals on new RVs, travel trailers, and so much more. Fifth wheel starting under $30,000. It's the only dealer that gives customers maintenance for life for free. Breeden RV has a great selection of pre-owned trailers and RVs to choose from. And now it's the time to camp. Let Breeden RV in Van Buren show you how easy it is. And it's the home of maintenance for life. You can check them out at BreedenRVs.com. So, Tommy and I are going to disagree on this. And he talked about it on Monday morning. We had different takes on it. I don't know if you guys watched the Red River Rivalry. Hadn't got a text from Brent Spyro yet. I'm kind of surprised. We usually get a custom Boomer Sooner text every day from him on the Cherokee Casino hotline, but I hadn't got it today, so I'm wondering if he's listening. Mike DeFee, who's one of the better referees in the Big 12, decided that he was going to give a personal unsportsmanlike conduct on every single player from Oklahoma and Texas. You know how when rivalries happen, you have guys that mix it up a little bit pregame? It's fun. Like, do you have a favorite sports team, Matty T?
Oh, gosh, it's hard to pick just one. I like the Broncos.
Okay. So, Broncos, is Chargers Broncos their biggest rival? Who's their biggest rival, you'd say?
I'd say it's a good one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, if Rivers and
the one game that I went to, a Broncos game, that was who they were playing that day.
So Rivers is notorious for being a trash talker, right? And he loves trash talking. I like to see that. I am old school mentality. My favorite NBA, 80s and 90s. Physical. New York Knicks. Pat Riley's Knicks. Lakers, Celtics in the 80s. I like the physical. Now I know it got out of control a little bit, but I like the trash talking. I like Bird chirping the entire game at whoever it was.
As long as it's not anything offensive, though. That's where you draw the line.
Depends on what you deem offensive. I'm not don't say racial stuff, but I don't really draw a line anywhere else. Do not say racial stuff, but I feel like for me on a basketball court, anything outside of racial.
So you can talk about somebody's mother.
Yeah,
that's
100%.
fair game.
I'm trying to think if there's something else that is
it's too far,
irredeemable. It's usually just about their mom and their sister. Something
you can bring up lost loved ones.
Yeah, stuff like that. But so I like seeing that. But DeFee gives an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty to every single player because of the altercation, and he was asked about it by the pool reporters. They asked him, "What's the rule pertaining penalties called before kickoffs?" He said, "We have jurisdiction 1 hour prior to the start of every game, so anything that occurs within that 1 hour period, we have jurisdiction over." He asked, "How many times have you had to call a penalty before a game?" It's like the first time I've ever had to do it. Is there anything that happened in the tunnel? It's like I didn't see anything that happened in the tunnel. What happened on the field? They came together and started jawing and pushing. I didn't see any punches thrown. I got hit a couple times. My linesman got hit. That I get. He was in the altercation, and he's trying to separate players, and he gets roughed up a little bit. I understand that. And, again, maybe I would understand it, grasp it a little better if I've actually been in that situation. I didn't referee intramural games in college. I don't know if I've ever reffed a game, to be honest, basketball-wise. So I'm taking myself out of the equation and putting out there that I don't have that unique perspective. But I just thought it was kind of lame that he gave an unsportsmanlike penalty to all that. Here's what's I love Gus Johnson. I made that pretty evident on this program. This was what he had to say about Mike DeFee during the game.
You can see Mike DeFee has continued his hard work in the weight room. He's jacked.
You ain't lying. And when you know you're going to have an emotional game, send the guns in.
That's it.
I love that. But if you haven't seen a picture of Mike DeFee, he's built like a freight train. He's not the tallest guy or anything, but he is jacked. He looks like he could still play football. But if you watch the Texas OU game, the Red River rivalry, which is only supposed to be compared to Michigan, Ohio State, Auburn, Alabama, there really wasn't a lot of animosity. There wasn't a lot of chippiness. And I think that's, to a certain degree, what makes a rivalry great. I know Phil doesn't like the phrase be at each other's throats, but I'm going to use it here since he's gone and I can to a certain degree. I like when players don't like each other. I like when there's trash talking throughout. But if you watch the game, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, I really didn't see any of that the rest of the way. And that is because of the penalty, and they knew if they were chirping, horns down, anything like that, they were getting yanked. They were getting tossed, which was kind of a bummer for me. And it really wasn't that good of a game. Jalen Hurts played okay. Texas defense showed up. Man, the OU defense showed up. Sam Ehlinger got eaten alive in that football game, but I was a little disappointed. So when you watch a game, and again, you got 12 years on me, Matty T, do you like to see the tenacity? Do you like to see people butt heads?
Absolutely. And I remember it used to be more during college games, when I was growing up. And you would love it, and you could, just make out what they were saying, try to read their lips and stuff. So, yeah, of course, that's one of the fun parts about it.
And that's not a my generation thing. For whatever reason, my generation is soft and tissue-like, and they don't like to see anything where there's butt heads or anything like that. People freak out if someone says, and listen, I know in the past certain things have been taken too far. I get that. I know that. But I like to see the organic flare-ups that happen, but you didn't see that in that game. So that's my get off the lawn for a Tuesday, Matty T. Brad Mountain Home texted in on the Cherokee Casino hotline. He says, hypothetically speaking, if Arkansas switches coaches at the end of the season, is Chad's son also gone as our QB of the future? Yes, 100%. Chandler Morris goes where Chad Morris goes. Period. That will 100% happen. I can't remember if it was Mrs. Paula, who's Chad's wife, or if it was Mackenzie, his daughter, tweeted out when Chandler committed, this is going to be the first time they've all been at the same place in a while. And there are people questioning, they're listening to the program right now, that's actually going to happen. Because Chandler Morris is not stepping foot in Fayetteville if his dad's not the head coach. That's not to say he couldn't compete for the job, because he could. I don't know if he would win out or anything. I'm still questioning, and I'm not one of those guys that thinks he sucks or anything, but I'm questioning a little bit if he transfers to the collegiate level, just like every other high school athlete in college. Guys offers to Clemson, Auburn, Oklahoma. He's not just some son schmuck. Dude can play. Can he play at the college level? We'll see in a year. Carl from Lavaca, he's texting in with under like different aliases, which I don't get. He says, "Are we still wearing sticker decals? If so, we need to rip those up. As of now, we're looking like the Life Champs team and the Ohio State wannabes." Bunch of texts here on the Cherokee Casino hotline. They're making me laugh. I haven't noticed. Have you noticed the helmet decals, Matty T?
I haven't noticed.
Yeah. I don't know, man. They might have stopped that after last year. I haven't seen any, Carl, but again, that might not be right. So
Ross in Paris has some hard-hitting takes today.
Yeah, there's been a bunch.
He says, "I love tacos." So
I like tacos. It is
Taco Tuesday.
Yeah, it is Taco Tuesday.
Any good taco deals around town?
Yeah, Joe's Grill and Cantina, $1 tacos every Tuesday. John and I usually go. I know you went last week.
I did.
Yeah, so if you're in a taco mood, which most of you listening, I know you like tacos.
I mean, I wish every day was Taco Tuesday.
Yeah, Joe's Grill and Cantina, $1 tacos. And they have some other great deals as well. It's not just $1 tacos.
So, Ross, I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah. P-Ruck24 on Periscope says he'd much rather have Mike Leach than Les Miles. Oh, man. There was a point in time, what was that, 07-ish? 08? Yeah. That there was thought that Les Miles was going to be the new head coach at Arkansas. That was right. Yeah, that would have been, next cycle through after Petrino, after that, but because of the Jeff Long connection, but that ended up happening. Leach is having a bad year, P-Ruck24. Washington State's really not that good this year. That's not to say he hasn't accomplished a lot over his coaching career, but I don't know. I don't know if Mike Leach would work here. So, it's a good question. Good question to think about. Everyone seems to be on the Leach train. He does have the funniest quotes. The transition between Brett Bielema and Mike Leach would be pretty seamless from the media perspective because the entertainment value would be there either way.
We wouldn't be bored, that's for sure. There'd be lots of sound bites.
Exactly right. All right, 2 days gone. Me and Matty T got one more tomorrow with us. Phil Elson set to join us Thursday. Excited for that. Matt, appreciate you stepping in and really filling the shoes, man. I appreciate that.
I wonder if Phil's tried any Canadian food.
It's bacon. I hope he brings some back. For Matt Travis, I'm Ty Richardson. Halftime, same time tomorrow, 12 o'clock.
Great camping weather is just around the corner, so at Breeden RV in Van Buren, we're having our year-end clearance sale right now. Get great deals on new RVs like travel trailers that start at $99.95 and fifth wheels starting under $30,000. Breeden RV is the only dealer that gives our new customers maintenance for life for free. We also have a great selection of pre-camp trailers and RVs to choose from. Now is the time to camp, and now is the time to let Breeden RV in Van Buren show you just how easy it can be. Breeden RV, your home for maintenance for life.
Oh, that's an RV.
You always get more.